Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about atoms and the periodic table. Atoms make up everything in this universe, especially a lot of products like cars, food, the food you eat, your organs are all made of atoms. Basically, atoms make up everything. So today, I'm going to tell you that atoms are made up, this is what an atom looks like, this is a rough sketch of an atom. Atoms have protons, neutrons, and electrons there. So protons are the positive charge. So we all know by now, positive and negative charges will repel the same charge. For example, positive and positive will repel each other. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Positive and negative charges will attract. Positive and positive, or negative and negative charges will repel from each other, right? So protons, as it says, pro is positively charged. Neutrons have zero or neutral charge, as in nu, which means neutral charge. Electrons, negative charged. That's all it is. Protons are positive, neutrons are neutral, and electrons are negative charged. This is a rough drawing of an atom. So the protons and neutrons are in this middle bit here, which we call the nucleus. The nucleus is the most dense, don't worry what dense means right now, but the most dense part of the atom. And it's always in the middle of the atom. Then you've got the electrons, which usually fly around on the outside. Electrons fly around on the outside, there's one there and there's one there. They usually fly around on the outside of the atom. So basically this is the atom. Protons are positive, electrons are negative charge, neutrons are neutrally or zero charge. So a nucleus is where the protons and neutrons are, then there's flying shells or rings outside, well, let's assume that for now, that have electrons, which are the negative charge particle. Okay, so now we know what our atoms are. I'm going to talk about the periodic table. So the periodic table, essentially all the elements that are an element is a different type of atom. So for example, let's compare hydrogen to helium. Basically, different atoms, different elements of atoms have different numbers of protons, neutrons, electrons, etc. So hydrogen has 1 proton, 0 neutrons, and 1 electron. Helium has 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and 2 electrons, if that makes sense. So, for example, if we go one more element up, like element 3, lithium, that has 3 protons, 3 neutrons, 3 electrons. So, basically, this is what we use to determine this. But then we've got the periodic table. So, this is basically some elements. I'm going to keep helium up. Actually, I'll keep hydrogen up here as a reference. Don't worry about the numbers I'm writing at the moment. I'll explain those in a minute. So we've got the whole periodic table. Basically has hundreds and hundreds of, actually not hundreds, it had 118 confirmed elements at this stage. So what we then do is we say, okay, so hydrogen, this number, this is what something will look like on the periodic table. It'll look like this. So the top number is the atomic mass. So that's how many neutrons there are and how much the element weighs in AMU. But don't worry about that for now. Then we've got the atomic number, which is the number of protons. Protons is just the atomic number. That's how many protons there are. Hydrogen's 1, helium's 2, all the way to 118 protons, which is organocin. Then you got the symbol. As we all know, some of them might, like hydrogen is H, which is logical, but some like potassium, you think it'd be P, but no, it's actually K, because they used to be called other things or something complicated like that. Symbol, which is hydrogen. So that's basically what your typical periodic table thing will look like. Okay, so now we've discussed the periodic table and the atoms. So essentially, I'm going to leave all of you with a few questions on a test, like a work, not really a test, like a quiz. I'm going to leave it on Dylan Teacher Science. Or Dylan Science, or whatever. So basically, question 1. I want you guys to answer question 1, which is going to be, how many... And I'm going to go through these questions. So if you haven't done the quiz, do it now, because I'm going to go through the questions now. How many protons in calcium? How many protons are there in calcium? The answer, well, if we look at it, calcium looks like this on the periodic table. I don't know what that number is, I actually forgot, so let's do it this. We don't want the number of neutrons anyways. How many protons are there? Well, we discussed before the atomic number is how many protons there are. So there's 20. 20 protons. Easy. Question 2. Question 2 is going to be, how... Actually, no. I'm going to leave you guys with this question. What charge is an electron? And as we discussed at the start of the video, negatively charged. Okay? And then the last question is going to be a pretty easy one. What is a what is an atomic number? So some pretty basic questions. Atomic number, how many protons are in the element? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this lesson. Next lesson will in your chemistry foundation, we'll be focusing on states of matter. So please stay tuned for that. Bye.